All right, here we are back at the old faithful Kanaka Industrial spot, and straight ahead there to the north, I was going to try and get some range. I've never tried going any distance in that direction, and I had a great experience today where I lost video, and it was a good practice for what to do in an emergency, I guess you can say, and uh, it turned out very well. So I'll show you what happens. So my plan with this flight was to learn a bit about the math to figure out what altitude I need in order to clear all these trees and still have my plane antenna, my video antenna, be able to see my ground antenna, because video is not going to go through these trees. So my initial climb, I climbed up 100, 150 meters here, and then started heading north, and everything was going fine. For my little long range video antenna, I lined it up right down the road that I'm sitting on. So you can see the road there. So once in a while I was turning around to see if I was still on course with staying within the range of that antenna. It would be really nice to have a rear view camera that I could quickly switch to, so I'm going to work on that. Then I could look behind and see if I'm on course with my original plans. But I figured that mountain peak straight ahead, if I aimed for that, I'm going to stay in line with the road and keep good video. What I should be adding to my process here is I should read my compass headings and realize, like, if I'm looking at that mountain peak and the compass heading has changed significantly, then I must be off course a little bit. But for now, I've been doing the visual method, just looking back at home. But I'm going to work on that. Aside from the course heading, though, the other good reason that I've been looking back is to see if I can actually see where we are physically. Then I know my antenna still has line of sight, so I can see the white roof of the building that I'm sitting beside, and the video is starting to get a bit grainy, but I know I've still got some line of sight there. So I guess here's shows how distracted you can get. I didn't even realize I'd be able to see this lake today, so I was oohing and ahhing about the lake. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to turn around and check my, my heading and stuff. And you can see now I've been blown way over, like east, way off course. So I decided to head west a bit to get back in line with the road and keep my line of sight, because my antenna is just not going to push through those trees. So I headed this direction a little bit, got back on track, and then continued on. So now I'm kind of back on track, and again I'm thinking now, ooh, look at this lake, maybe I can make it to the lake. And I didn't continue climbing enough, and there we have it. The trees started to come in between my two antennas, and I was starting to think, what's going on here? And I realized I just didn't climb enough, so I lost video. The plane is still in manual control here, so I had to manually flip it into return to home. And then I had to just sit there and wait it out, and it was the longest video loss I've had, so I was very nervous this whole time, thinking, where's my plane? And then sure enough, there I'm pointed right back at home, returning to home, no problem. So it was a good experience to know that my gear is trustworthy and working well. So that was enough heart racing for me, and I decided to head back home. And my battery was getting to that point anyway. One of the things I enjoy about doing these long-range trips where you have to climb is on the way back, I didn't even touch the throttle once. I glided the entire way home, and then even at this point right here, I still had too much altitude, so I cruised around a bit with no throttle, just killing off some height, and then I decided I'm going to try and follow a little bit of a tree valley back home, you'll see here, and then I brought it in for a pretty good landing. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you're learning as much as I am about these flights as they happen. I find these treetop runs are really exciting. It's kind of fun, and it was interesting. The person who was kind of spotting for me said that at this point here that there was tons of space between me and the trees. So I guess the depth perception of the camera can be very deceiving, because I wasn't really close to the treetops at all from an external point of view, so it's a little bit confusing in that way. I also still was finding it hard to get the plane to come down. You can see my artificial horizon indicator, I had to keep pushing the nose down just to lose the altitude because this was quite a descent, these trees and stuff. So it's nice knowing I've got enough glide time to really make it back home if I ever had an emergency. I have done a lot of landings at this place, and I really like the approach. This is the first plane I've had that's a tail dragger where I've been landing on the road. So now that I've practiced a bunch at other spots, I feel pretty comfortable landing and not having the tail wheel swoop out and then send me into a ditch. But it can be a little bit of a tricky place to land if you're not comfortable with landing and staying straight. But this one turned out all right. So we'll see you next time.